Have you heard of the Dividend Knights before? Perhaps not. You may have heard of the well known Dividend Aristocrats and Kings before, which are stocks that have raised their dividends 25 and 50 consecutive years, respectively. But the Knights have a different selection criteria. The Knights were introduced on a Motley Fool podcast on October 15th, 2022, which is available here. To summarize, these are dividend growth stocks that have beaten the S&P 500 over the last 10 years while also consistently increasing their dividends by 10% or more annually. The list of Dividend Knights is available at this spreadsheet. Let's go ahead and look at the spreadsheet. The first tab, Criteria and Stats, contains the criteria for inclusion in the list. As of March 31st, 2023, the criteria are traded on a major U.S. exchange, at least $1 billion in market capitalization, at least $500 million in trailing 12-month revenue, paid a dividend for 10 consecutive years, a 10-year dividend compound annual growth rate of at least 10%, and outperformed the S&P 500 over the last 10 years. And as of the latest selection, there are 153 companies in the list. The S&P comparison tab shows the breakdown of the Knights into sectors versus the S&P 500. On the left is the Knights. My biggest takeaway is the Knights are heavily overweighted in industrials, consumer discretionary, and financials when compared to the S&P 500, which in turn means it's going to be underweight in several other sectors such as information technology, healthcare, and utilities. The next tab over shows the Knights as of March 31st, 2023. The list is sorted by sector. As I look through the list, I see many highly regarded dividend growth names such as Home Depot, Costco, JP Morgan, and AbbVie. Let's see if I can apply some filtering criteria on this list to find some stocks that meet criteria of stocks I may want to add to my portfolio. First, let's save a copy of this sheet so I can edit it. Go to File, click Make a Copy, and then it will save a copy to your Google Drive. And it will open a new tab. The next thing you want to do is go to the Dividend Knights March 31st, 2023 tab. And first thing we want to do is make a column header row. So we're going to freeze the column headers. We're going to go to View, Freeze, and select up to row 4 since the columns are in row 4. And now I'm going to go to apply the filters to each column. We're going to go to Data and create a filter. And now you'll see there's a little icon next to each column so you can filter that data. The first column I want to filter is the forward PE. I want to select stocks with a PE ratio less than or equal to 15. So I'm going to go to Filter by Condition. And I'm going to select less than or equal to. And then I'm going to type in a value of 15. Click OK. And so why 15? Well, the Shiller PE ratio, the average long-term PE ratio of the market is somewhere less than 16. So for a margin of safety, I'm going to go ahead and pick less than or equal to 15. Now I want to filter on dividend yield. I want a dividend yield that's going to beat the S&P 500. The current S&P 500 dividend yield is somewhere under 2%. So what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to do filter by condition. And I'm going to select a dividend yield that is greater than or equal to, and this will, since it's a percent column, I need to put in as a decimal 0.02 for 2%. Click OK. And the last thing I want to filter on is the payout ratio. I want a payout ratio that is less than or equal to 60. So I'm going to go here and I'm filter by condition, and I'm going to pick less than or equal to and type 60. Why would I pick 60? Well, a too high of a payout ratio would indicate that the company is paying out potentially too much of their profit or cash flow in order for it to be sustainable in the future. So I want to go with a slight margin of safety of 60 or less. So here's a much smaller list to do further research. I do notice that this list is fairly heavy in financial stocks. This might be due to the current conditions with banking. So if you're more risk adverse, you may not want to invest in financials right now. So I'm going to go ahead and filter this list, and I'm going to remove financials and click OK. And looks like we're left with about 13 stocks. Take a look at this list. What a bunch of boring companies. Not a single tech company made the cut. We have a few retailers such as Dick's Sporting Goods, Best Buy, and Lowe's, a grocer Kroger, a few oil and gas companies, and some material and industrial companies you may have never heard of, Snap-on and Huntington Ingalls. Let's see how this list of companies stacks up against the major indices. Okay, now it's competition time. Who's going to win in the Portfolio Visualizer arena? On the left, in blue, is VOO representing the S&P 500. On the right, in yellow, is QQQ, also known as the NASDAQ 100. And in the center, we have an evenly allocated dividend growth portfolio of 12 stocks. And let's see who wins with an initial $10,000 investment over a 10-year period. Wait for it. And it looks like Portfolio 2, the dividend growth portfolio, comes out on top with $73,000 returned. The NASDAQ 100 QQQ comes in second with $54,000. And VOO brings up the rear with $35,500. Okay, now what about the 5-year contest? Same allocations, same colors. Okay, looks like the dividend growth portfolio just narrowly pulls out a victory over the NASDAQ 100, $21,500 to $21,469. And once again, VOO comes in the rear with $17,000. Okay, I know what you're thinking. Past performance doesn't guarantee future performance. And also, who knows if the selected dividend stocks would have even qualified as Dividend Knights 5 or even 10 years ago. Those are fair points. But my point is, you don't need to be invested in high-flying tech stocks with outrageous valuations to do well in the market. The last thing I want to share is how to screen for the Dividend Knights yourself. The Motley Fool only seems to do it every month or so. And what if they decide to take down the Google Sheet? If you like the process they've identified for finding quality and dividend growth stocks, then Seeking Alpha can help. I've created my own Dividend Knights screen with their stock screener. So the stock screener is available here on the sidebar. You can go to stock screener. And then mine, here it is, Dividend Knights. And as of May 9th, 2023, it's returning 107 stocks. It's not an exact match. And the main thing that I can identify is that Seeking Alpha does not offer a dividend growth of 10 years of 10% or more. The longest they offer is a 5-year 10% or more. So that may account for some of the discrepancy. But you'll see a lot of the same names, such as Kroger and Broadcom and Lowe's and Cintas. I've gone ahead and loaded up a sheet to compare the two screening results. In the left column, I have Seeking Alpha's results, and in the right, I have the Motley Fool. The symbols in green appear in both lists. The symbols in red are exclusive to that particular list. So, for example, ADP is appearing in both lists, but AbbVie only appears in the Motley Fool list, and Aflac only appears in the Seeking Alpha list. Thanks for watching today. Please hit like and subscribe if you would like more content like this. I am not a financial advisor. This video is for entertainment purposes only.